There.
Okay.
All right, we are live. I apologize for the delay. Karin, if you can hear me, I am live on the Facebook page now, and I'll get you into this as soon as I see you on the page. All right, thanks for joining us today. My name is Caleb Wright. I am the co founder of Orozona Oils, and today we want to talk about our dog's silent suffering and how to discover ways to improve the quality of your dog's life with the wisdom of nature. Stick around until the end. We're going to have a special offer for you that'll make it worthwhile hanging out with us. Hopefully, you find this time educational and valuable as it expands your awareness of how to improve the quality of your pet's life. So I will be joined by Karin Roseman here very shortly, hopefully. We are having some internet issues, but we'll get through this. In the meantime, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Caleb Wright, and I've had a deep interest in all things hemp for over 35 years. After reading The Emperor Wears No Clothes by Jack Herrera, maybe some of you are familiar with that book, I learned about all the wonderful contributions that hemp makes to this world and the benefits of hemp in our world. So I got super excited about being able to be a part of the hemp world when things started changing a number of years ago. So in 2015, I joined a company and we became a pretty influential company in the space. And after a few years of that, I was able to actually start my own company, and which has been awesome. We've helped thousands of pets along the way, and intend to continue doing that. Um, let's see. Let's see if I can get Kareen in here. I need to turn on the comments here, which I do apologize. This is somewhat new territory for me. Um, so we'll see what we can do to get Kareen involved here. Anyway, while we're still working on that, um, in this video, we do want to share some insights on simple things that you can do based on our experience to improve your pet's quality of life. Now, understand I'm not a doctor or a vet or a scientist. I'm a researcher and an entrepreneur who loves to facilitate positive transformation. And I've found that our products have had one of the greatest impacts of all the ventures I've been involved with. And I remain excited to see its proliferation and impact on pet wellness moving into the future. Let's see here. I'm going to take another brief moment here to see if we can find where Kareen is. Um, let's see here. Well, I'm not sure I am going to be able to do this. Well, I'm going to move on forward. Today's topic is going to hopefully enlighten you um, as well as inspire you for taking control of your pet's health. Um, Hang on a second here. I'm so sorry. All right, so diving right in, what we're dealing with here is a system built into all creatures with a spine called an endocannabinoid system. And this endocannabinoid system is responsible for essentially governing the central nervous system and allowing for balance to be achieved throughout the body and the mind. We have receptors in this system in all of the organs, uh, the brain, all the organs of the body, all the fat tissue of the body will store the information coming to the endocannabinoid system. Um, so, yes, thank you, Karin. I appreciate that. Um, so, endocannabinoids are neurotransmitters that our body produces. We make a variety of these. One of the popular ones is called anandamide. And anandamide is responsible for balancing erratic behavior. So let's say you smash your finger with a hammer and you have an erratic pain signal. Anandamide is naturally going to be released and rush into the scene and provide balance for that out of balance situation. So the pain levels don't increase to go beyond what you can bear. So that's its job internally, is any place that there is cellular imbalance, to go ahead and bring some balance and encourage shift towards balance. So the products we work with, hemp extract oils, bear the same resemblance, if you will. They mimic endocannabinoids, and so we're able to supplement our bodies with a phytocannabinoid from the plant world, and it will do the very same job that the endocannabinoids are doing, but it's fuel for them. It gives them the thrust that they need and the recovery that they need. Understanding that our world is full of stressors, from oxidative stress to mental capacity stress, everything is just a bombardment, which drives us from a state of balance and stasis into imbalance. And when you're in that state of imbalance, you're susceptible to disease and illness. Essentially, it's a weakened immune system. And so with the introduction of phytocannabinoids, we're able to bolster our endocannabinoids, and we never run out of supply, if you will. And it gives us more fuel or more ammo to combat the struggles that we naturally are exposed to. And anything from chemicals to foods, poisons, all kinds of things that would cause an imbalance in our lives. The endocannabinoid system wants to rush in and bring balance. So that's kind of the crux of what we're dealing with here, is understanding the endocannabinoid system and how to cooperate with it. There has been a huge interest in the last number of years in all things cannabinoid related. And that's a good thing, and that's a bad thing. It's good because people become aware of the reality of CBD and the cannabinoids that are provided by that. But it's a bad thing because as things become more and more available, the quality and the potency tends to decline. And so we see, big companies who don't really have interest in health and wellness getting involved just to have a piece of the CBD pie. And so that can be problematic. And often what happens is people will try products like that and they'll walk away saying, oh, well, CBD doesn't work. And I say, well, did you try our CBD? Because our CBD is different. It bears all of the qualities necessary for adequately mimicking the endocannabinoid system. So that brings us to the point of full spectrum hemp extract, and why would it be a benefit as opposed to just any old CBD? Well, when we're looking at the question of how to answer silent suffering in our dogs and our pets, and how to improve the quality of life using the wisdom of nature, we are inclined to think of ways that our phytocannabinoids will most adequately engage with the body. So the most popular form of CBD is called CBD isolate. And it is, as it sounds, isolated CBD. It's a pharmaceutical grade white powder that's water soluble. You can make it taste like anything, smell like anything, mix it with anything, and it's just fabulous in that way. However, it is isolated, so it's like asking the pitcher to play every position of the field and expecting to win the game. So it's probably not going to happen. But it is widely celebrated because it is the star of the game. Everyone knows CBD, but they don't know the minor cannabinoids, and they're not familiar with the terpene profiles, which are the flavor and the aromas of the product you're dealing with, the hemp extract. And those all bear healing properties that we don't want to overlook or miss out on in favor of a CBD that tastes like bacon. which is the benefit of an isolate. You can make it taste like bacon or strawberry soda, whatever you want. But you're not going to have the full spectrum profile that's required to adequately mimic the endocannabinoids that we're making, which are lipid-based. And that's a key to understanding how this is going to be effective, is lipid-based. And so we're looking then again at the full spectrum hemp extract. And why does it matter? Because full spectrum is going to carry the full array of cannabinoids. It's going to carry a full array of terpenes and fatty acids, amino acids, other things that are important for absorption. And our body recognizes them and as useful and absorbs them and takes them in and benefits from them. So full spectrum is going to contain as many of those as possible. And it was going to maintain a lipid nature about it. In my opinion, a true full spectrum extract needs to have the amino acids and the fatty acids and things like that. In the industry, they're allowed to call it full spectrum only if it contains a tiny bit of THC, trace amounts of THC, and now it's considered full spectrum. So you can have a full spectrum distillate that is, a high percentage of CBD and many of the other things, dare I say, 90% of the other qualities are removed, but the THC remains present, so it's considered a full spectrum. But what you don't understand is all the things that were removed in order to raise the CBD percentage higher were all really important constituents and players in this thing. So it's super important to understand exactly what kind of a full spectrum you're dealing with. Imagine this. Some full spectrum hemp extracts will be like a hard tree sap, crystalline, requiring high heat in order to melt it, to then use it and mix it with other oils. Where an oil like what we are using is going to be more of maybe like a honey and Vaseline mixed together, if you can imagine that. So it's going to be lipid rich, it's going to be slippery, it's not going to require high heat to get it to melt, essentially. And that all equates to absorption in the human body. Our body wants to respond to this by pulling it into the organs, like I stated, and that's all fat-based. And so we're dealing with a lipid-to-lipid bond when it comes into the body. Now, CBD isolates in broad spectrums that and some full spectrums that remove the lipid nature of the hemp extract oil, they lose the benefit of absorption. That's huge. It's super important. That's why so many people say, I tried CBD and it didn't work. It's like, well, you tried CBD without any natural lipids involved. It may have tasted great. And it may have helped for a minute, like a flash in the pan, right? But it didn't store on a cellular level. So it's super important to understand that. So in terms of what to look for a full spectrum, when it's on the shelf, it is going to be tough to tell because a product may say full spectrum, but you don't know if the lipids are included or not. You almost have to do a little digging and some research and find out more information about the company you're dealing with. Our company makes it very clear and plain that we are dealing with a lipid-based product here. Not only that, but it's also cleanly processed, cleanly grown. We're dealing with all organic ingredients. Our hemp extract is exposed to a very gentle extraction process called subcritical CO2. So it uses a little pressure and some carbon dioxide to separate the constituents and gather the ones we want to keep, and we do discard some of the others like the chlorophyll and some of the heavy waxes that aren't necessarily beneficial or that we don't need in the end product. So you do have to do a little digging, call the companies. If you find a product you think looks good, call the company and ask them, to describe to you the raw ingredients. What kind of full spectrum hemp extract are you using? Is it a full spectrum distillate, meaning they've distilled much of the goodness out of it? Or is it a true extract where most of the qualities are retained? So super important. Again, my definition says full spectrum must include the lipids, omegas, fatty acids, terpenes, minor cannabinoids, vitamin E. All of these are essential. Let's see here. One of the things that people get hung up on is they look at a product and they go, oh, wow, this is a 90% CBD. It's really strong, or a 99.9 if you're dealing with an isolate. 99.9%, that's really strong. That's almost 100%, right? Well, the idea is, um, again, the full team does much better than just one individual player. And also, we're looking at the value of the product. Look at white bread, for instance, versus the value of a sprouted grain bread. And that's the difference between a full spectrum hemp extract versus a distillate, an isolate, or anything less than that. It's just not going to carry the punch that you need from all the players coming together. In the industry, we call it the entourage effect, and it's the idea that the sum of all parts is greater than the whole. So it's important to understand that and not get carried away thinking, oh, high percentage CBD means more effective. It's actually opposite of that. So yeah, again, think white bread versus a sprouted grain bread. We're doing this for nutrition's sake, so we want the very best material possible. So another thing to understand is the quality of the biomass or the plant that's being grown and extracted. We want to make sure that it's organic. Hemp is a bioaccumulator, meaning it's going to be pulling things from the soil. It's great for planting in areas that have been exposed to toxic spills and things like that, because the hemp will pull the toxicity from the soil and regenerate the land. Now, you don't want to use that plant as a consumable. You might want to use that plant for rope or other textiles, maybe building hemp homes. But you don't want to be consuming hemp that's been grown on compromised ground. And oftentimes, hemp is grown on old tobacco farms or cotton fields. There is quite a bit of Chinese hemp in the market, and we just have no idea where they're growing their hemp. And so we know that it is accumulating whatever's in that soil. So it's important to have an organic, non-GMO hemp plant as your biomass, which we do. Certified organic, it's all fantastic, above board. With test results that prove those claims, that show that our claims are accurate. There are no fertilizers or chemical pesticides, anything like that in the final product, proving that the ground is good. So it's important to have organic biomass to begin the process. I do have a question coming in. I'm going to see if I can get to that here. But before we get to that, moving forward, I just want to say a few facts about Orozona Oils and why it is so effective. Again, we've serviced thousands of dogs and loads of humans as well. Understanding that our products are fit for humans and they're fit for animals. The only difference in our products is simply the label. One of the products will have a paw on it, and one of the products will have a hand on it. And that's the only difference. Dosage and quantity is often the same. It's kind of, it brings peace of mind knowing that your animals are getting a human grade product, and we're not cutting corners for the animals and taking the leftovers and giving that to them. So that's good to know. In our products, we use no flavorings, no additives, no preservatives, no fillers, no colors. The flavor profile is 100% naturally occurring. So there's nothing about it that is artificial or that would take away from its bioactivity, its bioavailability. This is a product that's presented to you as clean and available as possible. Along those lines, it's super simple. There's only 2 ingredients. We're not overloading this product with loads of ingredients, again, to change the flavor profile or to preserve it and give it a longer shelf life or any of these things. The shelf life is a couple of years on it as it is, and our idea is that this product's going to be consumed, not be a shelf ornament. So use it every day. That's a key to success for this product is give it to your dog every day. This isn't a once in a while kind of a thing. This is every day. And my recommendation is to find a dose that works for you or for your pet, where you can gauge the results you're looking for, and take that dose and then split it in half. And in the morning, do half of it, and in the evening, do the other half. And that way, your body is constantly, or the body of the animal is constantly being fed and replenished adequate supplies of cannabinoids. So people often ask how to dose. I've got a dog that weighs 7 pounds. I've got a dog that weighs 100 pounds. How much? How do you know how to give? I've got a dog with seizure activity. I've got a dog who just has some anxiety and maybe gets a little flighty sometimes. Or who knows what the issue is. It's all across the board. But the dosing suggestions basically remain the same. And that is, we're looking at either the weight of the animal or yourself, if we're looking at human consumption, looking at weight or the severity of the condition. So for weight, we generally say 1 to 2 milligrams per 10 pounds as a daily, or 1 to 2 times daily as your routine dosing. And that's going to be great for just daily cell support, and when we say cell support, it is a systemic cellular support. The entire body is going to be supported on a cellular level by taking this product daily, by giving your pet this product daily. So even areas you have no idea are problem areas are going to be serviced by this. It's fantastic. So either the weight or the severity of the condition. If we're looking at a little dog, maybe a Cavalier or a Chihuahua that's having seizure activity, well, now that's a severe manifestation. That's not just a little anxiety. So we're going to encourage to increase the dose until you see the positive shift you're looking for. So that's kind of the way we view it. It's not this is a completely non-toxic product, so there's no fear of overdosing. The only negative thing that could happen is you see a little loose stool if there's too much of a delivery oil. But the hemp itself, so far there are no known allergies. It's a very benign substance that's going to just nurture the entire body. But we don't want to be taking more than we need, because it becomes wasteful. And we don't want to be wasting your hard-earned resources. We want to see them go to work, affect change where we need the change, and be consistent. And we are able to see that consistency with folks who find their daily dose and are on it every day. That's where it really shows the most benefit, because this is something that is metabolized, it's used and used up. And again, as I stated earlier, our endocannabinoid system just doesn't work fast enough to keep up with all the modern stressors that we're exposed to and that our animals are exposed to. Speaking of which, anxiety seems to be a huge one with pets. And if you have a pet with anxiety, I'm so sorry. But there is hope. There is hope. We have loads and loads of pets who are experiencing relief from anxiety just by including our products in their daily routine, because it's going to be soothing and calming on a neurological level. It actually helps to improve neuroplasticity, meaning that neural pathways can be rewritten easier, and they can get out of those ruts of chronic anxiety and things like that. But it just takes daily dedication to it, and you will see the shift. Back on our products real quick for just a second. We have 2 different delivery vehicles that we utilize. The hemp extract does need to be mixed with something in order to be delivered to the body. And so we've chosen to use coconut MCT, which is fantastic. It's antiviral, antifungal, antimicrobial, antibacterial. It fights candida. It aids in the digestive system. It improves brain health. It builds the immune system. That's all just the coconut oil. So you mix that with the powerful hemp extract properties, and you have an amazing product that is powerful for transformation. The other option we have is cranberry seed oil, which is high on antioxidants, antihistamines for those pets with allergies. It's natural anti-inflammatory. It strengthens bones, lowers cholesterol, enhances heart health, supports the urinary tract, which we're all familiar with, combats acne and eczema. It's a fantastic skin food which our products can all be used topically as well. Understand it is a loose oil and can be used for hot spots on critters or cuts, wounds, anything like that. Paws that are exposed to, maybe heat or something like this that takes the layer off the paw. You can add the CBD oil right to it, and it will help regenerate that paw. We never quit using the cranberry oil, but we have always enjoyed the properties of these two oils. So let's look at the hemp extract real quick. It is the constant in both products. It reduces pain. It is an anticonvulsant. It soothes arthritis. It's an anti-inflammatory. It promotes healthy aging, which is a huge one right there. If we can slow the aging process, regenerate cells quicker, boy, that's huge. And that's really what we're up to, cell health, cell regeneration, and increasing that turnover. For instance, I see it in ways like my fingernails grow faster than they used to pre-CBD. My hair grows faster than it used to because I'm feeding on a cellular level, and that cellular growth is being supercharged, if you will, by having the CBD to feed on. So CBD also supports brain and nerves. It improves sleep. There are so many areas that CBD touches because, again, it's servicing on a cellular level, seeking to bring balance where any imbalance is. And the way we consider pain and disease is simply cellular miscommunication. And CBD's job is to promote healthy cellular communication and healthy cellular development. So if you've got those two things under wraps, you really have health. You're able to put it in the corner and actually get it. And I've seen it over and over and over. Transformation is the bottom floor of my expectations. I expect to see every person and animal that takes our products experience transformation on some level. And it may even be for something you didn't realize was happening. Again, because it is silently working throughout the entire body, bringing balance where any imbalance is detected. So it almost intuitively knows where to go. So a lot of people have questions about, treats or capsules, gummies, and things like this versus an oil. In my experience, the oil is always the better option, and it's primarily because of absorption. It's going to get into the bloodstream, it crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it does it fairly rapidly. I've had some pet parents respond that their animals, or tell me that their animals respond within 15 or 20 minutes of taking a dose. Other animals, it takes 2 weeks, and then you go, oh, that's what I was looking for. And it's remarkable, and I'll talk about some of that here in just a few minutes. But yeah, the delivery vehicle does matter. That's why we're 100% lipid-based in our every ingredient, both ingredients in our products. Oftentimes with the capsules and things like that, they are utilizing a CBD isolate. So as we've talked about, the quality and efficacy of isolates is just, it pales in comparison to a full spectrum hemp extract oil. And so I tend to stay away from those types of products. However, having said that, my wonderful friend Karin Roseman, who was supposed to be on this call, and we are just not technically savvy enough to make that happen yet. If anybody is technically savvy and wants to contribute to our efforts, please write in. Anyway, Karin makes fantastic pet trees, called Snarky Bark, and she is utilizing the absolute best ingredients possible. She is using our hemp extract. So it is an oil, lipid-based product. We know it's good. It's not exposed to high temperatures while it's baking. Everything is kept within the parameters that deliver a product that actually works. So I highly recommend Snarky Bark if you can find her. She is on the East Coast, Delaware area. She's traveling all over the states with her dog. She's a Great Dane gal. We actually helped. I wish she could be here to tell the story more accurately, but she has told me that in the past she had a dog that lived to be 14 years old, a Great Dane, that utilizing raw diet principles and our products was the result, or was the cause, I should say, of a 14-year-old Great Dane. So I love hearing stories like that. And again, I wish she could be here to tell it herself. Let's get back on talking about dosing again real quick. I did want to just reiterate that there is no toxicity, so you can be comfortable exploring different dosages for your situation. And every one of us has an ideal dose. And you can augment and add to that. Let's say you have a daily dose of 10 milligrams for your pet, and you know that there's a vet visit or a traveling event coming up, or maybe things like the fireworks. You know, don't wait until that event is upon you to start. Always be giving, and then when that event, that stressful event, hits the calendar, then add a little bit more. See how that works. But it's not something that you use episodically. That's another place people get it wrong, is they think, oh, the fireworks are coming up, so now I'll give my dog a little CBD, and it won't be, till next 4th of July that we'll use this bottle again. That's not the way this works. This is cellular nutrition. This is like food for your cells, right? And you don't want to ever go hungry or be emaciated. And so this is a daily thing and not an episodic thing like a pain medicine. And again, being benign and non-toxic, it's not going to harm any other part of the body because you quote unquote had too much. You'll just eliminate whatever is too much, and your body will absorb what it can. So that's super important to understand. This is not an episodic response to something. This is a daily proactive measure that we're being particular about. We're being, what's the word, intentional about. So that's good to understand that. Let's see here. I had a question come in. If your pet is on antibiotics or medication, is CBD still safe to use? That's a fantastic question and one we get often. Yes, CBD is still safe to use. This is a nutraceutical. It's not a powerful pharmaceutical that will have dramatic effects on the body and on the brain and on the liver and on the stomach and the kidneys. This is very safe. Again, it's more like a food and less like a medicine. So it's not going to have any interactions that are negative. The only interaction that I would bring attention to is that it can be an enhancer of pharmaceuticals. So that means people or pets can begin to dial down their total intake of pharmaceuticals as they introduce CBD, which really, in my opinion, is the goal. We have way too many pets and way too many people on pharmaceutical drugs that are causing harm, and there is something we can do about it that is natural, that feeds every cell in the body, and that does what it should do, and not a whole slew of things that you don't want. It's absolutely amazing, and I wish more people understood the power of a full spectrum hemp extract as I have witnessed it in my last 10 years being in this space. One of the cool stories that has happened recently, actually under my roof, which was fun to watch the development of. We had a friend who was transitioning from one home to another and needed a place to stay for a little while, so we allowed him to use a space that was available. And along with him came his beautiful dog, a husky named Athena, 8-year-old husky. Athena had experienced an injury to her hips a few years ago, and was still it was just not getting better. Every time she would get up and get down, she would let out a horrible squeal, the husky squeal that just raises the hair on the back of your neck. And anytime she would round a corner or go through a doorway, she would squeal, anticipating the pain of being touched on her hips. If you would touch her, she would squeal. So this produced a lot of anxiety in this poor dog. Athena was not eating like she should. And now she's in a new home with another dog, so there was some anxiety and all kinds of things. But the pain issue was real, and it had been going on for quite a while. So I immediately got Athena going on our 500 milligram. We chose the coconut oil for her. And it took a solid 2 weeks of consistent daily use. But at the 2-week mark, it was as if night a new day had dawned. A new day had dawned. And this dog came back to life. Not only did she stop squealing, but her personality came back. All of a sudden, we saw this happy, jovial, playful personality that this dog had been unable to access due to the pain and the anxiety. And I'm telling you, at the 2-week mark, it was a complete shift. She started eating normal. She started playing with the other dog. She started sleeping normal. She was able to jump up and down off of the couch without squealing. It was miraculous. Um, and I would call it a miracle, except I've seen it over and over. I am so grateful that this plant is on the planet, and that's a miracle in itself. But the effects of it that I've witnessed over and over have just been astounding. Another story was a number of years ago, my Hispanic grandmother, Huita, had a dash hound, overweight dash hound, yes. She lived in Wheata's bed, and Wheata had MS, lupus. She's been bedridden, or had been bedridden for many, many years. We got her on our CBD products, and she began to call them the miracle drops because of how they made her feel. They helped minimize her cramping at night, gave her peaceful sleep. It helped in so many ways for Wheata. So one day, Precious, the dash hound, fell off of the bed stairs and hurt her back. And as a result, she had some inflammation that was cutting off the operation of her hindquarters. So Wheata asked me to take the dog to the vet. So Precious and I went to the vet, and the vet wanted to prescribe a pharmaceutical that was only going to control inflammation, because she ascertained that the problem was inflammation cutting off the nerves to the back legs. So instead of going the route of the vet, Wheata says, no, 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 we're gonna use the miracle drops. So we used the miracle drops on Precious, and after 2 days, we had that inflammation under control. The dog was walking again, and after a week, the dog manifested as if there was no problem. Up and down the stairs again, in and out the doggy door, things she couldn't do with that injured spine. And so simply by naturally treating the inflammation essentially with CBD, we're able to control it and actually see transition, transformation. And that's what we're all about. It's all about transformation. If you're not seeing transformation with the CBD product you're taking the wrong product. I've seen it over and over. We worked with a Hollywood movie star for a number of years before he passed away this year. But he had been on 8-hydrocodone every day. He has a pain pump in his gut that pumped Dilaudid into his spine all day long. And he would give himself 6 extra boluses of Dilaudid every day just to try to manage some pain. Well, his wife found my products at a feed store, of all places. Here's somebody who's been going to Mayo Clinic twice a week, right, to get their Dilaudid pain pump refilled. And his wife finds my product at a feed store. I convince her to give it a try. She takes it home, gives it to him, and a week later he calls back with his jaw on the floor saying, what is this and why is it working? He ended up making a wonderful testimonial video for us, but we were able to reduce his pharmaceutical load by 2/3 just by introducing CBD. His doctors were amazed, and they didn't really want to hear that it was CBD that he was taking, but it was. It's an amazing substance, and our goal is to help people and pets get away from the dangerous pharmaceuticals, get into more of a healthy, proactive lifestyle, utilizing CBD that's going to service every cell of the body for whatever you need it for. And it's a beautiful thing. And it does work across the board. You know, as I stated earlier, all creatures with a spine will benefit, whether it's a mouse or a horse. We see a lot of cats with anxiety issues and digestive issues and things like that. Cats benefit. Obviously, all the dogs, horses, goats. We've actually serviced chickens and ducks with CBD and seen improvement and turnaround. So yeah, anything with a spine. I'm not sure about fish. We haven't run any experiments there, but it's an amazing substance that I encourage everyone to try. And if you've got issues, certainly, and even if you don't have issues, people tell me all the time, oh, I don't need CBD, or my dog doesn't need CBD, thinking that they're healthy, and that's true, and that's great. But my response is, well, do you have cells? And, well, yeah, well, then you need CBD, because this is a unique cell food that's going to bolster your cells to do their very best work, and that's really what you want. And another cool thing about CBD that people are a little worried oftentimes about whether or not CBD will cause you to fail a drug test. And it will not. That's the beautiful thing. Drug tests are measuring metabolites, that are kind of the leftovers of digesting THC or other drugs. And those metabolites have to be at a measurable level to pop a drug test or a UA. And CBD just does not have that kind of metabolite residue. It's literally absorbed in the body and used. And there is no psychoactive effect, by the way. I know we did talk about THC a little bit at the beginning and the trace amounts of CBD that are present in full spectrum hemp extract, but there is no psychoactive effect with CBD, whether for your pets or for you. That's not what this is about. This is really about peace and calming on a cellular level. So you can erase the fear of having any kind of a high or unwanted cerebral experience as a result of taking our products. So I haven't really mentioned much. My company is called Orozona Oils, and we've been in this space for, we're 5.5 years already, 2020. Yay. COVID messed everything up for everyone, didn't it? It sure shifted my reality. But we're grateful. I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing today if it weren't for the great upheaval that took place. So I'm grateful, and I've been able to affect many, many lives as a result of our work. We just have a few things that we hang our hat on, and that one of them is simplicity, like I've talked about. We have simple, effective blends. It's not gimmicky. It's not available in every flavor you could ever imagine. It's only available in different strengths. We have, the cranberry and the coconut oil, but the different strengths, for instance, we do 250 for the small critters, or like the chihuahuas and the dachshunds, the smaller animals. 500 for your medium breeds, your golden retrievers and Labradors and things like that, your German Shepherds. And then we go up to the 1,000. That would be for your large breeds like the Great Danes and Pyrenees and other large breed dogs that need a little bit more. So they don't have to take so much oil to get the adequate amount of active ingredient. So we continue to just double the amount of active ingredient with our bottles, and we go from 250 up to 2,000. Our 2,000 milligram is labeled for either human use with the hand, or it has a hoof on it indicating it's good for large creatures like horses. Another way people look at the 2,000 milligram would be the multi-dog bottle. So if you have 4 or 5 dogs running around, don't use the weak material and go through it quicker. Use the strong material, and just a little bit per animal then. So the multi-dog bottle. Again, no flavors or additives in what we're doing. We're clean. We're organic. Super important. Our processing is clean, organic. Our products are highly bioavailable. What else do we need to say here to you fine folks? We are an Arizona-based company. Hello to our Arizona friends. We service the pet market extensively here in our state through Sunburst Pet Supply. We love them, and they're doing awesome work in our world. And if you have a store in your neighborhood you'd like to see carry our products, please tell them about us. We'd love to expand our network and our influence and continue to see pet lives transformed and impacted with such a simple daily routine as adding CBD. So I thank you all so very much for joining me today, and I look forward to subsequent presentations. I plan on doing these some more, and next time we will have Karin Roseman of Deer Valley Danes and Snarky Bark, and the founder of Feeding Raw, I should add. We will have her joining us. So that's about all I have to present to you guys today, and I thank you again for showing up. I want to give you the code FR20, and that will give you 20% off a purchase of our products, which you can find our products at orozonaoils.com. That's OROZONAOILS.com. And you can email me any questions you may have at info@orozonaoils.com, and I'd be happy to give you a tailor-made answer to your situation. I know a lot of people have questions moving into hemp for the first time, and that's why I'm here. I help facilitate the journey into wellness. Again, I thank you all so very much, and we look forward to the next time that we join you live on Facebook. Ciao.